In the headlines, Kaduna State Governor faults President Buhari on Naira redesign, says directives disregard for rule of law. Reactions continue to trail President Buhari's extension of old 200 Naira circulation. Independent National Electoral Commission sensitizes visually impaired on Braille's ballot voting. And on the foreign scene, 12-year-old boy among 3 survivors rescued 260 hours after Turkey-Syria earthquake as death toll rises to 44,000. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us. And now the news in full. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai on Thursday asked residents of the state to continue using the old Naira notes. His directive is coming after President Muhammadu Buhari said in his national broadcast earlier in the day that both the 1,000 Naira and 500 Naira notes are no longer legal tender. However, in his broadcast to the people of Kaduna State, El-Rufai urged them to stand up strongly for democracy, peace, and national unity.
Stay calm and peaceful and support the lawful means being utilized to solve our problems. On behalf of the Kaduna State government, I wish to assure you that none of you would lose the money you have in old notes. Let no artificial or illegal deadline frighten you. Whether you live in towns, villages, or in our isolated rural communities, do not feel stampeded to deposit your old notes into the banks. Hold on to them. Continue to use them as legal tender as ordered by the Supreme Court of Nigeria. No deadline can render them worthless, ever. The law is on your side. The Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 in Section 20, subsection 3, and the Bills of Exchange Act both oblige the Central Bank of Nigeria to recognize your old notes and give you value in new notes whenever you bring them to the CBN, even in the next 100 years. Therefore, as your governor, I wish to assure you that the Kaduna State government, in collaboration with elected legislators, our traditional institution, elected local government councils, markets and traders associations, and so on, will help you collect, record, document, collect, and deliver all your old notes to the Kaduna branch of the Central Bank on your behalf into the new ones immediately after the elections.
Also, Kaduna residents have expressed displeasure with the ongoing cash deposit processes at the central bank in the state, as most customers were unable to deposit or swap their old notes. The customers said the money swap process was frustrating as the bank took details of the customers and not the money. The report.
In order to meet up with the deadline of the All Naira note, customers in numbers trooped to the Apex Bank to deposit their All Naira note. However, the customers said the bank officials were only taking details about them rather than the money for deposit.
I am here in the CBN. What they just told us to do, they say we should write our name, our phone number, and the bank. Then we will now sign. Then we will now be going. Then it's the next day that they are going to call us.
Because I came around 7 o'clock this morning, and the people that they came since yesterday, we are still together with them, and they are yet to deposit their money.
On the other hand, some traders and buyers in Kaduna market do not accept the All Naira note due to fear of losing their money after the deadline, thereby affecting business activities in the state.
We as a marketer, we are finding it so difficult. Somebody come to buy my shoe now, he has owed money and I can't collect, because if I collect it, it will remain in my hand. So automatically, and the transfer service is not going. Like this yesterday, they sent me text message about my school, my children. They said they don't receive cash and I have owed money. If I take to the bank, they won't give me new one. If you want to request it for 20, they only give you 5,000. So 5,000, what will you do with 5,000? A family man.
my brother, they no gree collect am for my hand. Since the money why Kasakaya, nobody. They don't come, they no care new money. All of them are old money they carry. And me, man, no they collect. Where I go by, they no gree collect am for my hand.
I'm about to buy something. I came with old money, but they refuse to receive the old money. Everybody is talking about new money, and the cash is not there. So I don't know what to do.
It's not moving at all. It has stopped. All we just do is that when customers come and buy something from our neighbor's shop, we went there and make withdraw and transfer to the owner of the shop.
They therefore call on the government and the CBN to look at the plight of Nigerians and come up with an amicable solution. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The directive by President Muhammadu Buhari that the circulation of old 200 naira notes be extended till April 10 is generating reactions from citizens. President Buhari, in a broadcast, said old 500 and 1,000 naira are redeemable at the Central Bank of Nigeria. A Kaduna-based legal practitioner, Abubakar Al-Zubair, said the president's proclamation contravenes order of the Supreme Court, which recognizes the old naira notes as legal tender pending determination of a suit before it. Noel Samson speaks to Abuja residents on the development.
President Muhammadu Buhari, in his broadcast, acknowledged the fact that the matter is before the law court and pronouncement made, and that his administration respects the rule of law.
I have given approval to the CBN that the old 200 naira banknotes be released back into circulation, and that it should also be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the new 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira banknotes for 60 days from February 10th, 2023 to April 10th, 2023, when the old 200 naira note ceases to be legal tender.
However, a lawyer said what the president did amount to contravention of an order of the Supreme Court.
My own view is that President Muhammadu Buhari has contravened the position of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. And I think because of his immunity, the Supreme Court should go against the Attorney General of the Federation and cite him for contempt and ask the question why they should not be cited or taken to prison for contempt because of the flouting of that order by the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Some Abuja residents expressed mixed feelings on the pronouncement.
Old, new, it's not our problem now. But since that's the way he wants it, I don't have any problem. Let just everything continue flowing.
200 naira can be used for another 60 days. I think I like that.
The main take home is that the 200 naira will be in circulation or will be accepted for another 60 days period. And I think that's good. It will alleviate the problem, the situation at hand.
Our advice to the government is that whenever you want to do something, even in your family, you need to prepare. Step 1, step 2.
It's uncalled for. President just want to suffer Nigeria. He want to suffer us because what of our people in the village? I want to send something to my people now. This naira now to buy 5,000. You 3,000 buy 5,000 in Nigeria now. That's what I do this morning.
I want to appeal to everyone that let's be calm. There's nothing that has beginning that does not have an end. All these protests, destruction here and there should be stopped. Most of we are approaching election. All we advise everybody is that hold your PVC.
The resident, however, appealed to the federal government to act fast to ease the sufferings of the people by making the banknotes available. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Also on the new Naira policy, reactions have continued to trail the broadcast by the President Muhammadu Buhari extending circulation of old 200 Naira till April 10th. In Makurdi, Jimmy Adzande speaks to residents on the development. The report.
Makurdi residents called the president high for restating the commitment for free and fair elections. They, however, insisted that the case before the Supreme Court should be allowed to be decided one way or the other.
The president for making that State of the Nation address, and most particularly as it relates to the currency redesign and the currency swap policy. But I think in a democratic dispensation like Nigeria, I think one will expect that in lieu of the fact that there is a pending suit, the state of address has, though looking good, but in a way has also created some form of confusion or contradictions, because where do we go from here? Should we follow the president's state of address, or should we await the outcome of the Supreme Court of Nigeria? So the president, as far as I'm concerned, has kind of left us in a dark state on the issue.
Others say the president's pronouncement on the Naira redesign will not ease the difficulties Nigerians are facing now.
It's the president's statement, when the people heard that he's going to speak, a lot of people are agitated to hear how we address the burning issue. But when he come up with saying that only 200 naira, old naira notes should be used, and others, they should go to central bank to swap it, I think a lot of people, I can say, they felt bad. So because the issue has not been addressed, that means the suffering will continue. So I think there are a lot of issues. People are going through a lot of difficulties. Families find it difficult to get their daily means by through their livelihood, I think.
The Naira crunch has affected mostly the downtrodden, and small businesses are closing down for lack of cash in the economy, according to some of the residents.
No money, most especially cash at hand. There's no patronage. Throughout today, since I came to the shop, nobody has come for work. People are refusing to correct old money, and this has become very difficult for us, the business people.
The president in the broadcast called for calm and said the Naira redesign is an attempt to hand over a better economy to the next president of Nigeria.
There is tension in Ikorodu, part of Lagos and its environs, following a riot which broke out in Mile 12 on Friday morning, allegedly over scarcity of naira. Eyewitness account said there was shooting as many civil servants and those going outside Ikorodu had to make a U-turn for fear of being hit. The fight has spread to Ketu and Ojota, also along the Ikorodu road, but soldiers were said to have been mobilized to quell the unrest. The fight was reportedly in connection with the lingering naira scarcity, which had affected businesses and crippled many Nigerians. The police spokesperson in Lagos, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, said that the free movement of vehicles and people had been fully restored. He, however, said he could not immediately confirm if the unrest stemmed from the cash crunch. And in politics, visually impaired persons in Kaduna State have appealed to the Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure that their members are properly guided on how to cast their votes using the Braille ballot during the 2023 election. They made the call at a sensitization meeting on the use of the Braille ballot organized by INEC in Kaduna ahead of the poll. The report.
The meeting is to sensitize visually impaired on how to cast their vote during an election to ensure that they are not disenfranchised. The participants, while commending INEC for providing them with Braille ballot guide, said they can now exercise their civic rights like any other citizen during the election.
One of the things I learned is the provision of this Braille ballot paper. And this gives room for the visually impaired person to go and exercise his franchise without being fear of somebody choosing for him not the right person he wanted to choose.
Yes. I think I will cast my vote alone, because even in the last election, my vote was tampered with, because the person that helped me to cast the vote does not know how to read. So he went and put my hand in the wrong place.
They call on INEC to ensure the availability of the Braille ballot guide during the poll.
They should make sure that the Braille ballot papers are adequately provided in all polling units in Nigeria. And they should make sure that any visually impaired person, they either form their own queue, or if it's only one, as soon as he arrived, he should just go and cast his vote and leave.
What I want INEC to address is INEC should also involve visually impaired persons in the election process, because with us there, we can be able to help our fellow visually impaired men, maybe visually impaired people who cannot read the Braille or who have not even seen it before.
Besides visually impaired persons, there are provisions for other people with special need, according to the Commission.
For those that are on the wheelchair, they are going to be assisted round, and for those that are visually impaired, they are going to be assisted round. And there's this magnifying glasses, we have the magnifying glasses for people with albinism. You know, when they are out there in the sun, they have a blurry vision. So with that magnifying glass, they will be able to see well.
In less than 2 weeks now, the visually impaired, other people with special needs, and the eligible voters across the country will decide the next set of leaders for the country via the ballot box. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, we'll bring you take a look at early childhood care development. Details on this and more after the break. Stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. And here is a recap of our top stories. Kaduna State Governor faults President Buhari on Naira redesign, says directives disregard for rule of law. And reactions continue to trail President Buhari's extension of old 200 Naira circulation. Now moving on to more stories. Arrangement has been concluded for the commencement of drilling of the first oil well in Nasarawa State on the 21st March 2023. Group Managing Director of Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited, Mele Kyari, disclosed this during his visit to Governor Abdullahi Sule in Lafia. Abdullahi Abubakar sent in the report and is here presented.
The Group Managing Director of Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited, Mele Kyari, explained that the corporation has commenced the oil exploration in the state since 2010 and has finished oil data gathering preparatory for the seamless drilling of the first oil well in the state. Mele Kyari noted that the support and encouragement received from President Muhammadu Buhari enabled the corporation to commence the exercise as scheduled.
Is that we have seen a great potential for finding hydrocarbon in Nasarawa State. And to confirm this, Excellency, we are going to start drilling on the 21st of March. And are very optimistic that it will be a successful exercise. It will not end there. Once you find oil, you do further work, you develop it, and everybody will benefit from it, not just the communities around it, and especially the communities around it, but the whole of Nasarawa State, and by extension, the whole of the country.
The NNPCL bus then called for the support and cooperation of the host communities to ensure success of the exploration. Appreciating the effort of federal government towards the oil exploration in the state, Governor Abdullahi Sule said the project cannot be achieved without peace and security, as such pledged the state government support and readiness to ensure security.
Anything out of it. But one thing that is citing is that we have seen the excitement. They have said they are very interested. They have seen something very interesting. So now the work is on our own part to ensure that we maintain peace in the area. We continue to cooperate with them. We continue to show them support. We continue to, in fact, if we have opportunity to construct roads for them, we construct the roads for them. We provide them with all kinds of infrastructure. You know, we provide them with water. We provide anything that will make their work comfortable.
Speaking on behalf of the host communities, Emir of Lafia, Sidi Bagay, assured total support and cooperation of the host communities throughout the exploration period.
On behalf of our people, we want to say to you that you will find peace with us in this community. We have been known for that. Our people are peaceful. And you will find with our people that they are kind and loving people. You will not have any reason to feel otherwise for the period of your stay and your operations with us.
The discovery of oil in Nasarawa State will make the state to join the League of Oil-Producing States in the country.
And now in health, inefficiency in the implementation of early childhood care development and education, ECCDE, in the education sector at national and subnational levels has been identified as a contributor to poor learning outcomes in children's development. Stakeholders at a national dialogue and workshop disclosed this while exploring ways to address the challenges and amplify opportunities for strengthening learning through play. The report.
Learning through play is said to be a vital teaching method which helps children to learn faster, develop social, cognitive and emotional skills. Despite policies guiding early childhood and education, Nigeria still struggles with proper implementation and low budgetary allocation to aid the process. This has become worrisome as United Nations Children's Fund says 35.6% of children aged 36 to 59 months received early childhood education in Nigeria, while 45.7% of children under age 5 learn with 2 or more play tools.
In practical terms, we know children play at home, and many of us are satisfied with that. But we also know that the school environment is an environment that we necessarily want children to be engaged in. We believe in pre-primary education, and then the question is, if we are committed to it, what should be the component? And is play not important? Isn't it a mechanism for learning? Isn't it a mechanism for development? Isn't it a mechanism for psychosocial exploration and creativity?
There are many standards, benchmarks that have been developed, but how far have we been able to implement this?
We have to make sure that we have the professionals that will impact that learning to our children, to make sure that we have a very good foundation for our children as they transit to primary schools.
With challenges like lack of training and qualification in ECE on the part of teachers, inadequate teaching and learning materials, underfunding, inadequate security measures, coupled with parents' misconceptions among others, the Federal Ministry of Education says it has over the years developed strategies to achieve the ECE objective.
In the area of teacher training for play-based learning in Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Education has supported and encouraged the capacity building of teachers and learning through play-based method by the development of facilitators' guides and participants' manual with specific focus on the Reggio Emilia and other child-centered approaches, improved curriculum, mentoring and support programs.
Stakeholders agree that strengthening capacity of teachers, parents and communities to support learning through play and providing instructional materials, among others, the early child care development and education in the country will be boosted for the benefit and interest of every child. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now on the foreign scene, at least 38,044 people have been confirmed dead, AFAD, the country's disaster agency, said earlier on Friday morning. With this, the death toll from the Turkey-Syria earthquakes is nearing 44,000. Reports of miracle continue to pour in. However, with 4 people pulled out of the report, I beg your pardon. However, with 4 people pulled out of rumbles more than 10 days after the earthquake struck, a 29-year-old in Kahra Manmaras was rescued after 258 hours. It was even more delightful after a 12-year-old and 2 men from Antakya were rescued after 260 hours beneath the rumble.
We found Nasliha in a corner of the base. We also warned the AFAD teams and saved her with the careful work of my operator friends. After one of the Naslihan's arms moved, we realized that she was alive.
We are ready to do whatever we can do for Elena. I learned her situation is good, and I'm very happy to hear that. God willing, we will see her healthy soon. May God be with you.
Meanwhile, the United Nations has launched an appeal for $1 billion to help the victims of the earthquake in Turkey. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust TV News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.